You're watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.
Live! We're not live. Let's take two. We're taking two. I'm used to saying live these days. Or you can just keep this in the show. That's fine. Welcome to the new show, everybody. It's Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Brandon Stokley, longtime NFL player. And every week on Friday mornings at 9 a.m., we're going to look through a lot of the games coming up that weekend in the NFL, give you some picks on games, over-unders, parlays. You never know. Prop bets, what we're going to hit on. It depends what we like that week. You can go with us and win. You can go against us and lose. I don't know what's going to happen, but football is back, Brandon, and I know we're all excited about that. I'm sure you in particular.
Oh, heck yeah. Best time of the year. Can't wait. First week of the season. So a lot of unknowns out there right now, but here we go. Buckle up. We got some football coming up this weekend. I'm fired up. I'm fired up to do the show with you, Adam, and looking forward to the weekend of football.
Absolutely. And folks will have the opportunity to pick the brain of a professional athlete, a guy who played in the NFL for a long time, had a very successful career, and you get the insight that you're not going to get in other places. We already had the first game of the year on Thursday night. Now on Friday, for the first, is it the first time ever, or did they do this last year? I can't remember now. Friday night football in Brazil. The Chiefs and the Chargers. It's bizarre to see NFL football on Friday, is it not, Brandon?
Oh, absolutely. But, I mean, they're trying to take over the whole week now. So you're kind of getting used to it on all every day of the week, throughout the year. So I love it. The more the merrier for me. And so it's here, so buckle up. And but that is a little bit odd, especially that first week to have a game on Friday.
Yeah, it's crazy. But let's jump right into that game because I know you got things in this game that you like. So the game, as we said, is in Brazil. The Chiefs 3.5-point favorite. Over-under's 45.5. And you got some props you like on the Chiefs side, but then you like the Chargers. I don't know if you like them to win or just to keep it close, but what's your take on this game?
Give me the points on the Chargers. Division game, first game of the year. Will the Chiefs finally have a Super Bowl hangover? It seems like every year it's just 14, 15 wins. And so will they finally take a step back this year? And again, these division games, I love what they're doing in L.A. with the Chargers. Obviously, Harbaugh's a great coach, and so they're doing things the right way there. Give me the points, but also, I'm going to take the Chargers and the points. I also like Travis Kelce. We all know how he finished the year in the Super Bowl. It wasn't, his best performance. So what's going to happen in this game? I think they're going to try to get him involved early and often. I think they're going to highlight him. They're going to have one or two of those special plays for him in the red zone to try to get him a touchdown. So I'm going to go over receiving yards, which is right around 50 and a half. And then also I like anytime touchdown. So I think they're going to try to get him the football. Mahomes is going to try to make sure to get him involved. And so I think it will be a little bit of a Travis Kelce game.
Yeah, I think that's a good play. I think there's a chance that this is. I think there's actually a decent chance. I'm just speculating that this is could be Travis Kelce's final year in the NFL, and I think he's going to want to go out with a bang, and I think he's going to have a good game in this one. I think there's actually going to be a decent amount of points scored in this game, and so the over 50.5 yards for Kelce, I like the anytime touchdown at plus 138. And I'm with you. I like the Chargers to keep it close. I think this could be, to me, feels like a field goal game either way. So getting 3.5 seems like the right play in this one. I'm curious your take. No bet here, but I'm curious your take on the Chargers backfield. They got a whole new backfield this year. First, they signed Najee Harris as a free agent, and then in the first round, they draft Marion Hampton. I'm not sure what the playing time is going to look like between the two. Harris has been a little banged up in training camp in the preseason, although I don't think the guy's ever missed a game in the regular season. What do you make of their backfield? How much better do you expect it to be this year?
Well, Harbaugh loves to run the football, so they are going to run the football and try to establish that run game. There was a lot of reports coming out that the Broncos loved Marion Hampton going into the draft. They ended up not drafting him, obviously. Chargers got him. Really good running back in college. And Najee Harris, a big question mark there. I mean, he missed pretty much all of camp with the eye injury. So an unknown there. But I think you're going to see both those guys get a lot of playing time. And so, again, like you mentioned, Adam, I mean, you don't know what it's going to look like right now because it's the first game of the year. How much are they going to split the carries there? How much will Najee Harris play after missing pretty much all of training camp?
By the way, I've always been curious about this, and since we have a wide receiver on, I wanted to get your take on this. I feel like back in the day when you played, and certainly before you played, you always knew the wide receivers that were the good blocking wide receivers that would help out in the run game, or even if another wide receiver caught the ball or whatever. I feel like it doesn't get talked about as much these days, but I still think it's a very important skill that I think it's actually getting overlooked more than ever. Does it stand out to you, the wide receivers that play that role that at a high level as blockers?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it does. I just think nowadays it's all about scoring touchdowns and throwing the ball and see how many yards did you have receiving. So you don't see a lot of the wide receivers doing the dirty work anymore. There are a few out there that will mix it up, but now it's all about your brand. It's a business. You're trying to make it to the next contract. So it's all about your stats. It's all about receiving touchdowns, receiving yards, and catches.
All right, let's get to some of those receiving yards, touchdowns, catches, and all that stuff. Let's go to Sunday's slate. Got a bunch of games to talk about here. This is the first game I like, and I'll be curious to your take on this. Personally, I think the Patriots are getting overhyped this offseason. I like Drake May. I think he has good potential. And I love Travion Henderson coming out of Ohio State, but I just don't like their overall talent on offense. And I think there's still going to be some growing pains for Drake May with a passing game that has some questionable weapons. To me, I'm going right to the throat. Week 1, the Raiders, who I usually think are a fraud. I love the Raiders' running game. I think Gentry's going to be great. I think Geno Smith, while not fantastic, gives them a level of stability at that position that they haven't had in a while. He has the great chemistry with his coach, of course. And I think the Raiders go to New England and win Week 1. Am I crazy or not?
You're crazy. Yes, okay. You're crazy.
Let's go.
Look, the Raiders are going to Raider. Now, they'll be better.
Yeah.
They'll be better. They'll be more competent with Pete Carroll, Geno Smith. They're going to get that running back going just like the Chargers. Bowers obviously is a great tight end. But I think New England's going to take a step forward this year. And Vrabel, I think, is a really, really good football coach. And I think Drake May is going to have a really good year. And it's in New England, correct?
It is, yes.
So it's in New England. Give me the Patriots. I'll give around 2.5. I'll give that. Yep. And I'll take the home team in this one.
All right, I'm not even taking the points. I'm doing it on the money line, plus 118 with the Raiders. I'm all in. I'm all in, at least for this week. I don't love the Raiders. I don't think they're going to be amazing, but I like them this week. We'll see. We'll find out. Early test on the Patriots right here. Neither one of us had a pick in this game, but we, who knows? As we talk about it, we might. It could be, and I'm doing a survivor pool as well, which I know a lot of people do, and. The Giants are getting a lot of hype this year. I don't see it personally. I'm curious what you think. The Commanders are a 6-point favorite in this game, 1 o'clock in D.C. Giants certainly have some good talent on defense. I don't really like their offense at all outside of Malik Neighbors. And I think Russell Wilson, he's not a good quarterback anymore, in my opinion. What do you make of that game, and what do you make of the Giants? Are you buying this hype that they could be a sleeper team?
No, I mean, you got to love their defense. You love their front, obviously. I mean, everyone has to. But until they go out there and actually do it and actually find ways to win football games, that's an art, right? You got to be able to find ways to win close football games. They haven't been able to do that. So, obviously, Daboll is coaching for his job this year. They got to win. But until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. How much does Russell Wilson have left in the tank, and who are the playmakers outside of Neighbors offensively that are going to show up for him? So I'm not buying the hype on the Giants right now. They got to go out there and they got to show me. How about you?
Yeah, no, I don't believe in the Giants at all. I feel like people have been optimistic about them the last few years. To me, I rarely have faith in a team that I don't have faith in the quarterback. It's the rest of it in this era of football. If your quarterback's not at least solid, I got no faith in your team. The rest of your team better be the greatest team ever. And while the Giants defense is talented, no doubt, obviously Neighbors is great. I like what Tyrone Tracy did last year as a running back kind of out of nowhere. I don't like their offensive line. I don't like their quarterback situation. They don't got anything at tight end. The rest of their receivers, to me, are nothing special. I am interested in your thoughts on Cam Scatterbo. He's created a lot of buzz as, a potential, 50-50 back there with Tyrone Tracy. What do you make of him? You think he's going to be a good NFL player?
Well, I mean, he had an unbelievable year last year.
Yeah, he did.
And he looked great. So, I mean, obviously different in the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I'm not going to crown him, and I'm not going to say that he can't do it. So, but it's a different world in the NFL, obviously. Here, I got one for you real quick, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay, Russell Wilson, how long until they turn the page and go to Jackson Dart? How many weeks?
I think that's a great question because obviously they drafted Jackson Dart very highly. When I look at the Giants' schedule, all right, we'll bring up the Giants' schedule. Their schedule, I would think we could see Jackson Dart as their schedule is brutal. Oh, my God. Commanders, Cowboys. We'll talk about the Cowboys later, but Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, they stink. Eagles, Broncos, 49ers. My gosh, I think, listen, if Russell Wilson stinks at the beginning of the year, I think we could see him as soon as week 5 against the Saints. I know that's on the road, but right? I mean, that's the Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in football. That would be to start the week to bring him in. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. That's where I got it. So they got to get off to a quick start, or they're going to have to turn the page and put in the young guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Browns, but they're in the same. Now, they didn't draft their quarterback in the first round, but they're going to have to probably turn the page off of Flacco, too, at some point. But I'm curious in terms of Jackson Dart, specifically, you mentioned Dart. Do you think are you a believer in Jackson Dart? Because there was some mixed opinion on him coming into the draft.
Yeah, I didn't evaluate him coming out. But I'll say this, you got to see. You got to see what you got,
Right.
If you are Brian Daboll and company. I mean, you got to try to figure out, is that guy going to be the answer moving forward? Yeah. He might be the guy that saves your job. So, he will get in the lineup this year, and it's just a matter of what time, what game are we going to see him.
All right, let's talk about the next game on the list here. That's the Panthers and the Jaguars, two teams that came into the league the same year as expansion teams at one point. Both teams in an interesting spot. The Jaguars, they paid Trevor Lawrence, but I think there's a lot of questions as to whether he's a franchise quarterback. Bryce Young, drafted first overall, had been a big disappointment, but he showed some real signs of life, I thought, the second half of last year. And personally, I'm optimistic about Bryce Young. I mean, everybody was killing him that first year, but he had nothing around him. I mean, zero. He had terrible coaching, no talent on offense. I thought Bryce Young showed really improved play the second half of last year. I believe in Bryce Young. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar or that he was worth the first overall pick, but I like him becoming a solid NFL quarterback this year. What say you on that?
Yeah, I hope you're right. And you're spot on. I mean, he played some good football down the stretch last year. So went through a lot of adversity that year and a half, and was able to bounce back. So you love stories like that. And you're right. He didn't have a really good supporting cast around him that first year. And so hopefully he can continue to build off what we saw last year. Jacksonville, on the other hand, Trevor Lawrence, they took a big step back last year. So new coach there this year coming over from Tampa. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond after a bad year last year. Got some weapons over there, though, for Trevor Lawrence. And the other guy, I can't wait to see Travis Hunter. Playing both ways. Playing both ways. I think he's going to be a really good receiver. And I think they're going to pick their spots there when they put him in defensively.
Brandon, you played 15 parts of 15 seasons in the NFL. So you're as good a person as any to answer this question. You just said it. He's going to try to play two ways. I mean, this is basically unheard of, at least on any kind of regular level. How hard is this going to be to do it at this level?
Extremely difficult. But I think what they have to do is, it's a passing league, it's a touchdown league. You need to score touchdowns, and I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver, and he's got big play potential. So I think you see him pretty much full-time offensively, and then them sprinkling him in the nickel and the dime package, playing 20 to 30 plays a game. The guy is a unicorn, though. I watch him a lot out here in Colorado, and he's playing over 100 plays a game in college. It's first game he's ever played at TCU. It's 100% humidity. He's playing over 100 plays. The guy, some guys can just, the Energizer Bunny, and that's the way he is built. So you do worry about the wear and tear on him and lasting 17 games. But I think early on, you're going to see him play both ways. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. I got 2 picks in this game that I like. I like the Panthers plus 3.5. I think it's a field goal game. I think it's a close game. I like the Panthers to keep it close. So I'll take them with the 3.5. I also like the over on Bryce Young rushing yards. It's 16.5 rushing yards. He had 17 or more rushing yards. We talked about how he played really well the second half of last year. In 6 of his last 8 games last year, he had 17 or more rushing yards. He made that a bigger part of his game, and I think that helped him last year. And so obviously 17 yards is not a ton, and he's no Lamar Jackson. He's not going to run for 100 yards in a game, but he's a good enough athlete. I like the 17 or more yards for Bryce Young on that one.
Yeah, okay, I like it. I like you said, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can get out of the pocket and make some plays with his feet and extend plays. And usually early in the season, when you're trying to get comfortable out there, that first game, you got some nerves going. What do? Maybe you're a little bit quick with your reads and you take off and you run with the football. And so I like that.
The Steelers play the Jets, Brandon, and you got to pick here. This game's a 1 o'clock game. Aaron Rodgers against the team he played with the last 2 years, or at least was there. He didn't play that first year because he got hurt after a couple of plays. We know the Steelers in the Mike Tomlin era, they've never been under 500, which is really impossible, especially to believe. Especially, I work here in Cleveland, but it seems like the Browns are always under 500. But the Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite at the Jets. But you don't like the home team in this one.
No, give me the Steelers. I don't know. Maybe I'm being really foolish here, but I'm gonna believe in Aaron Rodgers. I thought Aaron Rodgers played good, solid football last year. He can still spin it. He can still throw it. He doesn't move in the pocket and get out of the pocket like he used to be able to do, and that cost him a little bit last year with the Jets. But he can still throw it. And they're going to put him in a good position there. They're going to play great defense, and he, I can't wait to see that matchup with him and DK Metcalf. See how that goes. So I don't know what we're going to get with Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields there in New York, and so I'm not buying the Jets right now. So maybe I'll look foolish next week, Adam. But give me the road team here, the Steelers, and I'll give the points.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. That game's. I'm staying away from that game, but I don't necessarily disagree with your take on the Steelers. I think the Jets, like the Giants, are a fraudulent team. I don't get the hype on Fields. He is what he is at this point. I mean, I guess. Listen, we saw Sam Darnold turn his career around last year. You never know, that could happen. I just think he's not terrible, but he's a flawed quarterback, and I think there's a lot of hype for him that I just don't see, especially against a team with a Mike Tomlin defense. I don't see the turnaround game for his career starting against the Steelers. Again, we both could be wrong, but we'll see. All right, let's get to a few other games here. We'll do these final 5 games pretty rapid fire. We'll see if we got any thoughts or comments that might help any bettors out there make a decision. Bengals and Browns, 1 p.m. on Sunday. The Bengals are a 5.5-point favorite. This is interesting because the Bengals are a much better team than the Browns on paper, but we know the recent history. The Bengals, for whatever reason, have been awful 3 years in a row to start the season, 0-2 3 years in a row. Joe Burrow, though, healthy for the first time in years to start the season. He had never played a preseason game, not once, before this year. He played in 2 games this year. Last year, there was a hold-in by Jamar Chase. All those guys got paid on the offense. They're all healthy. The Bengals offense, fantastic. Their defense is not good, but the Browns can't. Browns defense should be okay. Browns offense stinks. What do you make of this game? Do the Bengals finally get a Week 1 win?
Give me the points. Give me Flacco and the points.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Your guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to believe that the Bengals got, all of a sudden they got their early season woes figured out. So
okay.
Until they
Fair
prove
enough.
it to me, give me the Browns and the points.
You think they're going to win or just cover?
No, give me the points. I want the points.
Okay. I got you. All right, Titans at the Broncos. That's your team. The Broncos 4:05 Sunday, 4:05 Eastern at least. The Broncos you got to face one of the best rookies last year in Bo Nix against the guy I think most of us expect to be the best rookie quarterback. You never know. Cam Ward making his NFL debut. Broncos are a pretty significant favorite at 8 points. What do you make of that one?
Broncos should have a great defense. Offensively, we'll see what it looks like. I like the under in this game. I think it's right around 43. Early in football seasons, we see the defense ahead of the offense, some lower scoring games. I think this is going to be one of those lower scoring football games.
I know you obviously follow the Broncos very closely. R.J. Harvey, there's a lot of hype for him in like fantasy leagues and stuff. Are you buying he's their lead back, or at least he will be at some point, or what do you think?
I think at first you're going to see J.K. Dobbins. Came over from the Chargers, had a really good year last year. So I think you're going to see Sean Payton rotating those guys. I don't think you're going to see one guy getting the majority of the carries. It's going to be both of those guys sharing the carries. So I don't know about fantasy league and points. That might hurt you there. But I think you're going to see a lot of both of them.
I'm with you on the under. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I would stay away from the point spread. I think that's a lot of points, especially when we both think it's going to be low-scoring. And, you don't know what to expect for a rookie quarterback. Like, if Cam Ward is the next special guy, maybe he plays great, and it's who knows. But I want to see Cam Ward play at least once before I'm going to necessarily bet against him with an 8-point spread.
I like it.
That's how I see it, yeah. Lions at Packers, 4:25 Sunday. Great early season game on paper. Obviously, the Packers make the big trade there to get the pass rusher, which was just unbelievable. That kind of came out of left field. The Lions playing their first game without offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. We know the talent they have on the offensive side of the ball. The Packers, 2.5-point favorite, over under 47. Any play here?
Wow. Give me the home team. Give me the home team here. Let's see what the debut of Micah Parsons looks like. So I'll take the home team and take the Packers.
Yeah, for me, I'm staying away because I love the Lions. I don't want to bet against them, but I like the Packers a lot. I like both these teams. I think they're going to be really good. I think Jordan Love, he just played better. He didn't play well enough last year, but with Micah Parsons, their defense could be potentially scary, one of the best in the league, no doubt about it. Sunday Night Football doesn't get much better than this on paper. Ravens-Bills, two of the best teams in the league, two of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's basically a pick-em. The Bills are a half-point favorite at home. The over-under is 50.5, which for the NFL is massive. If you had to bet the over-under on that, what would you take, Brandon?
I'd take the under. Early in the season, again, these guys don't practice a lot anymore. You got joint practices. They don't play in preseason games. So I just think the offense, if I'm going to lean one way or the other in preseason, in the first couple weeks of the season, I'm going to go with the under. So give me the under in this one. And I would, I'm probably not going to touch it. But if I did, I would probably take the Bills. Give me the home team as almost a pick 'em, like you said.
Final game, Monday Night Football. Another quarterback making his NFL debut, J.J. McCarthy, who missed all of last season due to injury. He will start against the Bears and Caleb Williams in his second season. The Vikings coming off a great year. Sam Darnold was their quarterback. They fell on their face in the playoffs. Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite in Chicago with an over-under of 44. Anything here?
Yeah, give me Chicago. I don't know. Yeah. Ben Johnson coming over from Detroit, and obviously they revamped their whole offensive line. What will J.J. McCarthy be? What will he look like? In his first start. So it's his first start of his career. Will there be nerves? How will he perform? I don't know. But if I'm going to bet it, give me the Bears at home.
Folks, we hope we gave you the information that is going to help make you a winner this week. Remember, gamble responsibly. You don't have to bet on every game, but you want to, when you do bet, you're going to want to get as much information as possible. Hopefully, we help with that. Hopefully, you will join us every week. This show is going to come out every Friday at 9 a.m. On the Bet Rivers channel, Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly. But obviously, you can watch it anytime on demand on YouTube. Thanks to Max and Tim for producing today's show. And thank all of you for watching and listening. Brandon, any final thoughts heading into week one?
Can't wait. Football is here, and I'm fired up. Can't wait for it.
It's going to be a great season, folks, and we'll be with you every step of the way. For Brandon, I'm Adam. We'll talk to you next time on Bet Rivers Pro Football Week. See you, everybody.
Thanks for watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.